We have the defending champion wearing different colours. He was competing for Ukraine 2 years ago, now with Russia. 89.5 points. Belyavski, 89.75, as we see some of those gymnasts going through their routines earlier. Yusuke, Tanaka, Fabian, Hambuechen, a legend of German gymnastics. Won't forget him either. Should be top 4 or 5 the favourites this afternoon at this wonderful new stadium here in Kazan city, about 900 kilometers east of Moscow, and the place has been buzzing really for the last few weeks. Well, it's chucking down with rain today, but that hasn't done anything to dampen the excitement. This is a region and a nation that loves its gymnastics. Very educated crowd here. They'll know what will be going on, and we'll run you through that over the next hour and a half or so. So the gymnasts making their last preparations. Look at top gymnasts, and it really is a very strong field. Andreas Evagora. With me, Paul Hall, former British coach for the men's team. He's coached Olympic medalists and knows these gymnasts very well. Paul, delighted to have you with us again. Were you surprised that the Ukrainians were 1 and 3 then? I reckon to the top 3 doesn't count for anything. How much will that do for the confidence, though, of Verniaiev and Stepko?
Oh, well, they'll be very confident after a great all-around qualification score. But it's all back to 0 today, of course, and they'll have to do that again. That's no easy task. They worked yesterday. They'll have had to get a good night's sleep to be ready to prepare for today's event. Verniaiev is looking really on form at the moment, 90.5, as you say, in the qualifications. Stepko, fantastic gymnast, excellent parallel bar worker. He's in with a great chance, but the crowd are right behind David Belyavski. They supported Mustafina to a win earlier today, and I think if they can get behind Belyavski, he has every chance of taking a gold as well today.
Certainly have, but Verniaiev is a great talent. We'll be seeing lots of him over the next few years. A word about the women. Alia Mustafina did take gold, so no surprise there. She was doubtful to take part in this competition because of a flu bug. She beat Ksenia Afanaseva, who's sitting a couple of metres away from me in the commentary booth. She looks quite happy with her silver medal, and I'm sure Kim Bui would be delighted with that bronze as well. But it was a nervous kind of performance today from those top 2, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, lots of mistakes from many of the girls. Mustafina herself fell off beam, but did such a great job on asymmetric bars, 15.2 on a specialist piece, and it was enough to take the all-around event. Afanaseva competed very well, a low score on beam with 13.15 to take silver. But it was Ellie Black who, for Canada, was just unfortunate in 4th place. She was really in with a chance for a medal. Got to floor, competed a good routine, last tumble, a double back somersault hands down, and just slipped to 4th place, 2/10 behind Kim Bui of Germany.
We will try and talk a little bit more about the women later on, but we're concentrating on the men now. Just to go back, these are the qualifiers from yesterday, the team competition. The top 24 gymnasts are here with one proviso, only 2 from each nation, which is unlucky for someone like Nikita Ignatiev and Shogo Nonamura, who are both in the top 10, but were not in the top 2 for their nation. These are our officials today. Somebody you know extremely well, I think. Paul will talk about the officiating. I don't want to talk about it too much. Let's hope that that's not going to be the headline in about an hour and a half. The officials, among the officials, is a former Universiade champion as well. Lots to talk about over the next hour and a half, because this is a top quality field. We're really looking forward to this one. And it's Oleg Verniaiev with that 90.5 mark. We were saying yesterday, weren't we, that 88 and a half is a good mark. Just put that in perspective, Paul, how good is 90.5 for Verniaiev?
90.5 is exceptional. If he can do that again today, then he'll be right up there with a chance of the gold. Whether he can or not is a difficult thing. 6 pieces of apparatus started from 0 once again. They have to be clean. No falls. There's 7 gymnasts, all of whom could actually take the top spot. Fabian Hambuechen, tremendous amount of experience, down in 7th, but possible to actually climb up. Anybody could do this.
And they are taking the field of play as we speak. Now, the way this is organised, there are 24 gymnasts. They're divided into groups of 4, and the top 4 in terms of the qualifications are together. Belyavski, Kato, Verniaiev and Stepko. You were saying, but what's interesting is within that group of 4, the order that they'll be going in, and especially he'll be going last of all.
Yes, it's seeded, so the top guys will be starting on floor, Olympic order. They'll be following the apparatus round, finishing on high bar, and it will come to a conclusion with David Belyavski, the crowd favourite, ending the competition, rounding it off on high bar. It'll be a great finish, I'm sure.
I wonder if that will be the performance that will win the gold.
Who knows?
An hour and a half as the preamble is getting completed. It's not quite full, but it's a good crowd in here. I think it will fill up as well a bit because it's just coming up to 7 o'clock local time, and it was, as I say, terrible weather today, unfortunately, for especially sports like athletics. I was watching a bit of beach volleyball earlier this morning. Although it's a lovely sport to participate in, I'm sorry for beach volleyballers when it's absolutely chucking down the rain. In Kazan, we're also, I don't know how far, but many thousands of kilometres away from the nearest beach, so it's a bit curious as well to beach volleyball in Kazan, which is east of Moscow, so a long way from DC. Nevertheless, a beautiful part of the world. And we've had a wonderful welcome from everyone here in Kazan as we get ready to go. So just run you through. On the floor, then it'll be Belyavski, Kato, Verniaiev, Stepko. We're not going to forget the other gymnasts. Mariano of Brazil, Tanaka, Super Tanaka, Kuksenkov, the defending champion, and Fabian Hambuechen will go in their separate category two on the ring. So there'll be Christian Pataka, Paolo Principi, Guillaume Agogliaro, and Yang Zheng. Matthew Firth, very well, Paul Paolo Ottavi of China went in, China rather, of Italy, Gustavo Paulo Chimoy of Portugal. They'll go together. Starting on the parallel bars, Bence Talas of Hungary, Kevin Rossi of Switzerland, Francisco Carlos Barreto of Brazil, and another French gymnast, Kevin Antoniotti. The last group, Yusuke Park of Korea, and Brett Schneider, Vlad Kotuna, and Simon Nutzel. There you have it, 24. They weren't the best 24. They were the best 24 if you take out the third from all of the stronger countries, like Japan, Ukraine, and indeed Russia. Remember, it was Russia who got that gold medal. Will that give them something of a boost? The fact that they won a team gold, I wonder.
Oh yeah, sometimes it can work against you, with all the exhilaration from a win, dealing with the press, all that euphoria has to be contained because they've got a job to do today, and some gymnasts can cope with that better than others. So I'm interested to see whether they slept well, whether they prepared well, and how they do today. There's 14 countries represented in this top 24, 16 European gymnasts, 6 from Asia and 2 South Americans, so a real mixed bag.
It is, and big competition in Kazan, just echoing your point. As I was coming in a couple of hours ago, Alia Mustafina was just passing and leaving, and there was press there were fans there looking for autographs, and this is always big for Russia, but when it's on home soil it gets that much bigger. So one big part of this is dealing with the pressure, isn't it? Talking of which, David Belyavski ready to get things going on the floor. You can hear the roar. Will he look to help that boost him and give him more energy, or will he just look to completely forget it? You've got some experience of this from the London Olympics. He'll
be trying to focus, definitely. You have to block out the crowd just for the next 70 seconds. Slight step up there, stepped out of the floor. There'll be a small deduction for that.
Put that behind him.
Working well so far. Into the circles, Fedorchenko, triple Russian circle on the floor. And then a popular move from all the male gymnasts. The wide arm handstand has to be held for 2 seconds. And this allowed to be one roll-out type move within the routine that you saw there. Just to dismount now. And then they combo 2.5 twists through to straight front with a full twist. Working quickly now against the clock. Triple twist. A good start.
David Belyavski, that early slip when he just went over the line. We can't put everything down to nerves, of course, Paul, can we? Because he's trying a tough routine, or not like Abiazin, which was incredible on the floor, wasn't he, yesterday? It's not just about nerves. He's doing a tough routine, and anyone can make a mistake.
And a very complex first tumble, double twist in that double straight somersault. And it wasn't a massive error. He'll be able to get a good score from that. always good to get the first apparatus out of the way, get rid of any tension, any nerves.
You see the slow-mo there. Some really nice slow-mos, haven't we, the last few days? We're really getting the details of exactly precision movements from the hands. Belyavski awaits the first score of the day.
Scored 15.3 on floor in the qualifications.
European all-around champion, of course, so it's a pretty good calling card. Lu Wentien. Now he's 15th in those qualies. He was third best on the vaults.
Just waiting for the green light, indicating to his coach just to adjust the springboard slightly. Everything has to be in perfect alignment. 25 meters of run-up, and of course only one vault today. Gymnasts would have qualified yesterday, some of whom would do 2 vaults ready for the apparatus finals tomorrow.
For can be dangerous. Focusing on the floor, competitors for gold here.
Ryohei Kato starting off on floor. Good start, 3.5 twist into punch front half turn. Ooh. Stumble there, but a very complex tumble. Ryohei was actually 9th on floor in the Olympic Games last year, just missed out on that apparatus final, but he's a great worker on this piece. Double twist forwards, punch full. Making lots of difficulty into this routine. Final dismount, just a few seconds to get this in. Triple twist, and that's how to land. Super job.
Yeah, very efficient indeed from Ryohei Kato, son of Yusuke Kato, who's Japan's national coach, so very much in the gymnastics family.
Qualify for 3 finals tomorrow, and he's got to do this routine again. Quite a big demand. Scored 15.15 on floor yesterday. Not sure he'll quite make that today. A few little errors.
Japanese hope for gold here. Japan have a fine tradition at these Universiade. They won the last 14 competitions, but they lost that title yesterday. No great surprise as we get back to the vaults with Lu Wentien finally.
Very difficult vault, triple twist. Natsukahara just about got round. Big step out for deviation. There'll be quite a lot of execution deductions there, but immense difficulty.
That was a big step. You can see that landed here. The right foot going well over the line. What will be the deduction for that?
1/10. Yeah, 1/10 for stepping out for deviation, but also a deduction for the step itself. So it'll cost him. It was quite a deep landing as well. The judges will notice that. Oleg Verniaiev, the leader from the qualifications. Handspring double twist punch full. Working well so far. Two and a half twist backwards into punch front with half turn. Gives him a little connection bonus. It all adds up. There's the dismount, triple twist, small step, but a good start.
Indeed, favourites. He was only 6 actually, not one of his strongest apparatus. I'm talking strongest apparatus we just saw on the vault. Tanaka, excuse me, it was Parmasinos was the last one. 0.85. Most of the best vaulters are not here. Obviously there's Axiong Yang. In terms of the top 3, none of them were in the top 7 actually. Stepko was the 8th best vaulter, which is not particularly surprising. We tend to be specialist vaulters.
Absolutely, and this Universiade is bristling with immense talent on vault. 3 Olympic medalists all made the final tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that.
Number 1 on the pommel horse, number 1 for the parallel bars. Number 2 on the parallel bars was Stepko, and number 3 Kato. So that's a big apparatus. 3 very strong workers on the parallel bars. On the horizontal bars, only 1 was actually in the top 10, which is Ryohei Kato, who was 4th. The others are the way back. So does that mean that makes the horizontal bar more important in as much as they have to improve, or what be your reading of that when none of them particularly good on the horizontal bar apart from Ryohei Kato?
They just have to be reasonable on all 6 pieces. They have to stay on. There's no falling off. They just need to make sure they go through as clean as they can. Kato scored 15.55 on vault on floor just then. A very good score, up from his qualification. So he started his campaign well. He really stands a chance for a medal today.
Verniaiev, 15.15 on the floor. We just saw that Stepko. His countryman now stepping up ready for his floor routine.
Thomas roll out. Quite a lot of bandaging on his leg. Double Arabian somersault, sat back. Will take a 1 mark deduction for that. That's going to cost him. And out the floor there as well. Not a good start. Beautiful flare circle, swinging up to handstand, coming back down again. He made the final on pommel horse, and there's why. Up into the wide arm handstand. Dismounting with a safe triple twist, but some big errors in that routine, unfortunately.
Kuksenkov 14.85, the defending champion. Decent 14.5 for Katuna on the high bar. We can see that. Quickly touch on what's going on around the other apparatus, though we will concentrate on that top 4 for obvious reasons, because gold medalist favoured to come from one of those, although Kuksenkov and Tanaka have a word to say about that. We'll look at the pommel horse, which will please you, Paul. Just from a few seconds ago.
Mykola Kuksenkov starting well.
Fair mark.
And swinging around one handle, turning at the same time. Very difficult work. Slight leg separation there, small deduction into the Wu-Gwen, turning and travelling across the horse. Shoulders have to be square there. The Magyar travel. Backwards into the Shivado. Now just up for the dismount. Safely through. He's the current all-around champion from 2011 from Shenzhen, so he'll be hoping to defend that title today.
40.85, how pleased or otherwise will he be with that?
I think he should be pleased. There was a small leg separation there, and no disaster. Anything in the high 14s for a pommel horse routine is good work.
Expert analysis, Paul Hall has coached, of course, Lewis Smith, pommel horse, multiple Olympic medalist. Missed out on the gold by the narrowest of fractions. And bronze. A little pause. Talking of Lewis Smith, there's been some stories in the media that he might be giving up gymnastics. He's had a couple of Olympic medals. He's a big star in England, for those of you who don't know, sort of outside of gymnastics. We'll just first look at Zhang Yang to see what he can do on the rings.
That's the strong man's piece. Let's see how strong he is. Look at that. Honma through to cross, pressing out into the swallow position.
14.2 in qualifying yesterday. It was only 34th best.
Slightly high in that inverted cross, but certainly putting some difficulty in. That's a very nice cross. Gymnasts have to show strength and also swing. They need to show a swing to a handstand and combine all those things together with a D-value dismount for maximum marks. There's the compulsory swing to handstand. And double dismount from Zhang.
2 seconds ago, he got a 14.6 for that. So 14.6 for the Chinese gymnast.
Just have one gymnast left on the parallel bars. First round is almost over. Kato leading the field 15.5. A great start.
Centre 14.85. Which is exactly what he got in qualifying.
Yes, you were asking about Lewis earlier. Lewis is, I've learned never to say never with Lewis. I'm not sure he will retire. He's got lots of things to do at the moment, plenty of media work. He's just finished a Strictly Come Dancing tour where he's been dancing, ballroom dancing. He won that at Christmas time and he's in quite big demand. But he pops into the gym and he keeps himself in shape. And with Rio just 3 years away, I would never discount it. But at the moment, he's pursuing many other opportunities.
Thanks, Paul, who's a long-time coach of Lewis Smith. No one knows Lewis better. He was a boy and sort of developed into a world-class pommel horse worker, Olympic medalist as well, in a period that British gymnastics have just surprised everyone, really going from also around no disrespect in the 90s to being right at the top of the pile, the European world and Olympic level, and Paul Hall sitting alongside me. That's a lot to do with that. We'll have a quick look at, I think, first currently ninth. It's in very, very early days. He's got a 14.4. It's not quite the A team for the British team here. You can't say the same for Ukraine and Russia, who've really got a very strong team. Now, what are the reasons for that quickly, Paul? Why the British team isn't quite as strong as some of the others?
Well, I take my hat off to any British gymnast and any gymnast here that can manage to juggle an academic career with a gymnastics career. Gymnastics is almost it is a profession now. They work upwards of 30 hours a week, and to be able to go to university and to study and manage this sport is a difficult thing. A lot of the gymnasts in Great Britain are full-time gymnasts. They're not at university. So we've got a team here that are managing to do the both, and Matthew is working very, very well today.
Verniaiev, who had the best score in qualies, 15.150. So the best of that an elite group. Belyavski 14.8 so far. So let's just warm up rotation number 2. Certainly enjoying top-level gymnastics. We were saying yesterday that Kazan bills itself as the sports capital of Russia. You know, they even got the right to do that from the Russian government, which was interesting. In case any other Russian cities claim that they're the sports capital, and they call themselves the third capital as well. That might be a bit more controversial, but it's a sport that loves. It's a city that loves its sport. This is evidence of that. At the Universiade, they're going to hold the World Aquatics Championship in a couple of years. The Football World Cup will be coming here as well. This is probably the biggest event in Russia since modern Russia was created. The breakup of the Soviet Union. This is more than 10,000 athletes. But having said all that, very rare, Paul, that a quality feel this quality would come to Kazan. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these fans.
Well, I think the facilities here are tremendous. The Russian Minister for Sport was watching the women's competition earlier today, and he got a warm welcome from the crowd, who I think are very appreciative of the amount of investment that the Russian government have put into sport. This Universiade is just a fantastic competition. So many excellent facilities. They can easily cope with this multi-sport event. They've done a tremendous job so far.
$4 billion has gone into this. And it's more than about sport. I've been speaking with a few officials from the government in Kazan, and they held a press conference. And they see sport as very much a driver of economic activity. For instance, the airport, which we both came into, is a new airport, pretty much developed for this Universiade. The road network has had a massive improvement. And of course, it puts Kazan on the map. People now are looking at Kazan from around the world. They know where it is. They know it can stage a big event. And it's interesting for perhaps not the biggest cities in the world, the Universiade, although the last time it came to Russia was in Moscow. The cities that are having the Universiade are slightly smaller cities, maybe the third, fourth, fifth biggest cities in their respective country, the likes of Shenzhen 2 years ago. So it's a really interesting way of developing a city, its economy, its transport. We've seen that in the city of Kazan, which is a city of a little over 1.1 million people, 8th biggest city in the Russian Federation. We're going to look at the pommel horse now, back to the action.
Yes, current leader Ryohei Kato just mentally rehearsing his pommel horse routine. It's very important for him. If he can get through this routine, he'll be very settled for the next 4 pieces. Compulsory scissor element, safely executed right up to handstand. Gymnasts have to work all parts of the horse, show various connections, travel over the second handle, rather unusual. Shivado backwards. Working well so far, legs together. Russian circle on one handle, back up. Now multiple circles on one handle, very small surface area to work on. Easy to fall off, but he's coping well so far. A lovely flare to handstand with travel across the length of the horse to dismount. Good.
And you have it, Kato. He got 14.9 yesterday. On first view, do you think it's as good or even better?
It'll depend on the start score, so they have to rack up the difficulty, but I think it was a very similar routine. It'll be a good score.
He's 9th best. So if he's looking at a gold medal here, we have to ratchet that up a notch as well, because Verniaiev and Stepko were the 1-2 yesterday. Very impressive. They both were on the pommel horse with 15.65 and 15.5 to Ukraine rivals. Pretty happy with that.
Yes, the most important job on these all-rounders' minds is just not to fall to get through their program. If they can do that, the top 7 all will have a chance of that medal position.
I'll bring you Kato's score as soon as it comes in. Just to let you know that Tanaka on the rings, 14.8. Yang is going to get ready on the vault, which is at the other side of our commentary booth here at this Gymnastics stadium. Kato's still waiting. Mark that one. And it's 14.750. So it's actually 0.15 less than in qualifying. Still a bit disappointing.
Well, it's safe enough. I think everything counts, but he'll be very happy that he got through without a major error. 6.2 start score, 1.5 from Yusuke. Here goes Zhang on vault. Safe double twist. Each vault given its own difficulty rating. Gymnasts have to hit the springboard. There you see, round off, cartwheel onto the horse, and then a back somersault with a double twist. Working to finish between the tram lines and to land as close to the central line as they can for 0 deduction. Small step backwards.
One of the 3 Olympic medalists here on the all-around side. Cheers are going up on the rings there, if you're wondering why. Kuksenkov, all-round winner in London, of course, which is more of some people the finest gymnast ever. There was a German in the top 3, European, Marcel Nguyen, which is a surprise. I seem to remember our German journalists I was speaking to were absolutely delighted with that, and Dana Lever the American getting bronze in London.
Absolutely. He's a good worker on this piece. Beautiful form, beautiful toe stretch, great lines. And the difficulty in this routine. Wow, this is quality work into the triple Russian. He means business today, I'm sure. Maybe a travel backwards with the Shivado and then up for the dismount. Oh, a small error, a big error there.
Bigger one there, yes.
Wow.
Well, that just goes what you were saying, Paul. It's all about concentration throughout the whole routine and not making a mistake. And that is a big mistake. He won't be getting 15.650 now, will he?
Certainly not. That'll be very costly. Such a shame. A great routine. Just the end, the final part. Fell the wrong side of handstand. Judges will take a fall, and there'll be a question mark as to what they give that dismount.
Good news for Kato, who was solid without being spectacular.
Wow. The pommel horse claims another victim.
Komm her! Mach was, komm! Komm, Fabi! Komm schön!
We'll go back to Kuksenkov, the defending champion. This was a few seconds ago on the still rings.
Important routine for Nikolai. Zarian circle. Good work. Got a little bit of a swing on the rings. Needs to just try to bring them under control by timing the next element correctly. Back up, rise to straddle top planche. Double pike somersault, solid landing.
That was Kuksenkov a few seconds ago. His fans obviously cheering him on. Competing for Ukraine previously, now for Russia.
Kuksenkov scoring 15.05 for that routine. That'll help his campaign.
I'll tell you what that means is he's on 29.9, Kato 30.250. Interesting, of only 2 of 6, a long, long way to go. Remember, we have 2 of the 3 European medalists from European Championships earlier this year, with Belyavski gold, Verniaiev bronze, looking for a bit of revenge at the Ukrainian. And Max Whitlock, who's not here, of course, was a silver medalist. Moscow, good results for Britain. That's also gold on the floor. And your gymnast Daniel Keating's pommel. Pretty good championships for Britain, who are second after Russia, who back really to the very top of European gymnastics. We'll wait to see next gymnastics. Gathering these results, it's Kato 30.250, Kuksenkov 29.9, actually Katuna 29.05, but of course he's had 2 different apparatus, so that will have to be factored out as these gymnasts go through the 6 different apparatus that comprise this individual all-around competition. Tanaka, the Japanese, 29 bed. Stepko all the way back on 28.5. He hasn't had a very good start with the other Ukrainian, Stepko.
There's the face of experience. Istvan Karaksoni, member of the Men's Technical Committee for the International Gymnastics Federation, and Steve Butcher, president of the Men's Technical Committee, watching with expert eyes.
We're going to go to the parallel bars. We're back live now. Paul with Lou.
I think it's the Portuguese gymnast.
Yes, we've just seen Lou's just come off. Palma Simoes.
Basket element with back up rise to handstand. Moy. Front somersault with a full twist. The Palma Samoas of Portugal.
He was only 52nd in qualification, so this is not his strongest apparatus playing, and he's 13.75. But so you were talking about the very international nature of this competition. It's really good to have a Portuguese at this top level. I haven't seen too many Portuguese gymnasts.
Yes, 15th in the all-around, and I think a good target for him would be to finish in the top half of the field. He'll be happy if he can get there. Yeah, sometimes the waiting for the result is more nerve-wracking than doing the routine itself, I can tell you.
Samoas. It's a pretty cool customer. Indeed, Firth qualified just behind Palma Samoas in 18th. 14.4 was his parallel bar score yesterday. What kind of man, what kind of gymnast is that Matthew Firth?
He's a very calm, steady guy. He's Mr. Consistency back home, coached by Chris Lowe out of Leeds University, and very regularly does 6 pieces of apparatus scoring, 84, 85. Did exactly the same yesterday, and I'd hope he'd do the same today. Very consistent performer, and hoping for a top 12 place. This is one of his biggest events.
Indeed, Leeds have been well represented at this Universiade. Good sports setup up there in Leeds in the north of England.
Yes, Chris Lowe, head coach up there, developing a great team. Some great juniors coming up as well. Niall Wilson for Great Britain. They'll be following, hopefully, in the footsteps of Lewis Smith, Daniel Keatings, Daniel Purvis, and providing a great legacy, a great future for British gymnastics.
Taking time, as he has every right to do. Firth. The top 10 of this top quality field. It is a notch above the women's field, one has to say, when you look at the European Olympic champions. Tomorrow, do not miss tomorrow's action. We have 2 Olympic champions.
Yes, judges just waiting for the parallel bar score for Gustavo. So it's very difficult to gauge how long it's going to take for these judges. Sometimes the results are very quick. Sometimes there's a little bit of a discussion about start scores. You have to check back and look at their analysis. Quite a complex analysis they have to do, putting together a D score, difficulty rating, and a composition score to give a final result. It needs to be absolutely correct. Looking now at David Belyavski with a very, very important routine on the pommel horse.
Taking their time for Palma Samoas. But that's part of gymnastics, and that's part of the training and preparation, the waiting to get on, as we see, back to the pommel horse.
Small step down at the beginning there. It'll be a few tenths deduction. Again. Such a difficult element, that spin, full spin around his wrist on that one handle. Multiple circles and turns, Stockleys on the one handle into the Russian circle. Magyar travel, back with the Shivado. And a good dismount there.
And I can tell you that was 15 dead, which compares with 14.9. So he's gone up a notch, and that's important, isn't it? It's that consistent you were talking about.
Oh yes, and that mistake on pommel horse from Verniaiev, a very costly one. 13.6 his score from above 15 yesterday. That's going to really send him down the rankings.
Very good for Ryohei Kato at the moment, 30.250. He's cut out the mistakes. Stepko made one, didn't he, on the floor? That could be costly. It's almost like we're counting the mistakes.
It really is that game with all-around gymnasts. It's about just being as clean as you can. 6 pieces of apparatus.
Kuksenkov knows all about that from 2 years ago, 29.9. And then just confirmation that it's 15 dead for David Belyavski.
That puts him into 3rd place, 29.8, 1/10 behind Kuksenkov, and Kato leading with 30.25 after 3 apparatus. Very close competition so far.
It's the end of that particular rotation. So far, looking pretty good for Kato, and 30.250, and the defending champion Kuksenkov 29.9, Belyavski 29.8. That'd be a good opportunity to look back at the women today. So we've said that Alia Mustafina with 57.9, Ksenia Afantseva 56.850, and Kim Bui completing the podium for Germany. And the top three today, perhaps the bronze medalist will be happiest of those three. Kim Bui earlier on the women. Just talk us through some of the highlights from.
Yeah, super result for Kim Bui. That's on the back of a bronze medal for the German team. So the Germans must be really celebrating that. A little disappointing for Ellie Black of Canada, who was working so well. Finished 4th place, just had floor to do, did a great routine, and just fell hands down on the dismount to score 55, 2/10 behind Kim Bui. Mustafina, small error on beam, but exceptional work on the other piece of apparatus. Hannah Whelan of Great Britain finishing 6th. It was a great result. And Garcia Rodriguez, a really impressive, elegant gymnast, working well. Beautiful double straight on floor, but unfortunately fell on a dismount, and that sent her down to 7th place.
We're seeing the better and better quality gymnasts from Latin America. Rio Olympiad might have something to do with it. There is a great history and tradition over the years. If you look at how well home nations do, they really do have a peak, including the Greeks in 04, including the Aussies in 2000, of course Britain having that spectacular Olympic Games. So it'd be really interesting to see how well Brazil do in Rio. And they have an Olympic champion in Zanetti already. We'll see him tomorrow, not to be missed in the rings. He's a massive favourite for those rings. 15.9 qualification. He'll be certainly the man to stop today. Is it too early to talk about Zanetti as favourite for Rio? It's 2016 after. It's 3 years. It's a long time.
Oh yes, I think it is too early. 3 years. He needs to keep himself in shape and keep his body there and keep the training up. And there's a lot of people nipping at his heels. He's definitely a chance, a prospect, but I know how long 3 years is in gymnastics.
Certainly do, but I think the Brazilians do, because a Brazilian colleague of mine was saying that the Brazilians are already saying who are their likely Olympic champions 3 years down the line. And Zanetti's right up there. We'll wait. It's a long wait, 3 years. There's a lot of very good gymnastics to be played out before. We've got a World Championships this year, and another one just before the Olympics, of course, and the European Championships. And this Universiade rotation 3 then. We haven't really talked about these 4 gymnasts so far. As Brett Schneider will be first to go. Part of the German team, 28th, but he's qualifying here because some of the other nations had 3 in the top 24. Brett Schneider 14.55 on the vault, which is a solid performance live on the rings. I think we're going to go to down in a few seconds once they complete their warm-up.
Matthew Firth did a great parallel bars routine for a score of 15. That's put him into 5th place.
Warm-up is over. Again now. Preparation, Paul, how much time did you put into this particular part of the competition? I'm talking about the 90 seconds, the minute before you're going on. Because that must be a very important time for you.
It's absolutely vital. There's a lot of mental rehearsal that goes on. You have to be focused, you have to be calm. It's very important that in your warm-up go, you do exactly what is necessary to perform a good routine. Not too much, not too little, just to be settled, to feel the apparatus, to get rid of any nerves. And then this waiting for the green light can sometimes be very unnerving. You never quite know how long the judge is going to keep you standing there. It can be very quick, which can be unnerving, or you could wait 3 or 4 minutes, and you have to prepare for both possibilities.
Focus on Kuksenkov for a minute or so. The nearly man, that's pretty unlucky at the Olympics, 4th place, both in the team and the individual all around for Ukraine now. Very much a Russian gymnast. Here he goes.
Oh, perfect execution. That was really nice work. Just a double twist in that Tsukahara, but safe. He's playing a clever game, just doing everything as tidy as he can, keeping those 6 pieces on the boil. No falls, no mistakes. If he can get through to the end, he'll be well in with a chance.
Just for a split second, I thought he was going to need a step. But that balance, just about here, there.
Yeah, I'm looking at Yurchenko with double twist, actually.
Excellent work. He got 14.55 in qualifications in the team competition. With a medal. Russia with the golds. His former colleagues. Very well suited. Gymnastics fans eagerly waiting for that 14.7. So he's gone up by 0.15. He'll be pleased with that, surely.
Oh yeah, just 5/10 deduction from the E panel. That's a very good vault. You can't ask for more.
Fifth, so he's not in the same group, remember, as Belyavski, Kato, Verniaiev and Stepko. Advantage or disadvantage? Because he's a clear candidate for this gold medal.
Sometimes it can be an advantage, you know. The cameras aren't on you so much. It's you're a little bit out of the spotlight, and you can suddenly sneak in.
Kevin Antoniotti, very look at French gymnast. Gymnastics not quite the heights that they've seen of late. Antoniotti can put that right.
Yes, qualified in 19th place. Being held on floor while the judges deliberate over the Brazilian score. 70 seconds once he starts moving to perform tumbles, forwards, backwards, sideways, a dismount, and elements in flare or a handstand. Quite a testing time for the coach as well. He has to stay calm throughout what could be a very stressful time. Fabian Hambuechen starting well. Free apparatus done now, scoring 43.5, halfway through his competition. Currently in 3rd place, following a very good vault. Hambuechen with 14.85 on vault. And here goes Antoniotti for France. Front into immediate double front, connection bonus there, the forward tumbles. Good work, whip into double Arabian, very difficult. The usual skill there, knowing it, a handspring, missing out the feet into a down forward roll. Russian lever. A wide arm handstand. Got to hold this for 2 seconds. Triple twist with a good landing.
It's Kevin Antoniotti, who representing France. He was actually born on the island of Reunion, which is in the Indian Ocean, but still a French territory. He scored 14.250 on the floor in his qualifications. Let's see if he can do as well as that, if not better.
Coach living the routine.
very much in contention for the gold. This is a few seconds ago. We can look at Verniaiev's rings routine. I'll give you Antoniotti score as soon as it comes through. But this is a really, really important routine for Verniaiev.
That's a beautiful start. And good straight arms, good positions. Well through that Unhappy combination. And settling down into a strength hold move.
.5 was the score for Antoniotti. French fans out there. Still loose.
It's a steady routine. He's recovered from that pommel horse mistake earlier.
The European bronze medalist in this all-around discipline, so he's certainly got the credentials. A really good talent, and no doubt about that. He's starved the present, but you know, one of the future as well. We're going to see lots more of Verniaiev.
Yes, I've been very impressed with the Ukrainians in the past few months. They did a fantastic job in London 2012, and they've assembled a great team. Suffered a bit with the loss of Mykola, Kuksenkov, but they put themselves together, a great bunch of guys. If they can keep them for another few years to 2016, they'll be a great team.
14.5 for Antoniotti, one of those gymnasts looking for what we know is top 10, top 15 would be a great performance for him. This is one of the biggest competitions of his life. We're back to Zhang Yang here. 13th overall qualification. Parallel bars.
Yes, Chinese with a great tradition on this piece of apparatus. Somersault between the bars. Into a Bella. Long swing with double somersault. Through the tip belt, going well so far. Straddle front somersault. Managed to rescue that handstand. Just to dismount. There it is, double pike somersault with a step. That's safe.
Zhang Yang, 15.25 for parallel bars. Less than he got yesterday. Range of scores there as we see this gymnastics centre newly built that has hosted the Russian Rhythmic Gymnastics Championships already. It's a young history. Here we see Verniaiev, 15.250 for the Ukrainian.
Yes, we're looking at the familiar 1 and 2 for Russia at the top so far. Kuksenkov in first place currently with Belyavski second.
Here is Belyavski.
He looks determined. Great position, shoulder can lift tall. So far staying very still. Productions if they're swinging too much. Double straight with double twist. That's a difficult dismount. as well to hold on to that.
A few seconds ago, the apparatus wasn't so good for the leader, Kato. He's 14.650, so this could change things a bit on this practice. The still rings. That rotation, a disappointing one it was for Kato. Only 14.650, Verniaiev 15.250, Kuksenkov 15.05, and Hambuechen, so getting out without them early on, is 14.85. Belyavski 14.5. It's a little bit disappointing in terms of his rivals there. Belyavski 14.5.
Yeah, but looking at the all-around results now, Kato's still at the top with 44.9 and Belyavski and Kuksenkov closely behind. Just less than a mark separating the first 5 gymnasts. Verniaiev now in 5th place, halfway through the competition. So just 1 mark between it. It's all down to who can hold their nerve right through to the last apparatus.
Defending champion Kuksenkov second, 44.6. Belyavski 44.3. So the loser so far, I suppose you have to say Stepko, who came in as the 3rd best qualifier. Someone on the floor, didn't he, Stepko? That might have been an early mistake.
Absolutely, 13.5 will cost him dear. It's turning into a fascinating competition, this. A few mistakes from everybody. Nobody standing right out in front. Anybody's game.
Antoniotti's doing exceptionally well. Of course, he's been on different apparatus, but we haven't really talked about Kevin Antoniotti. Excellent start for him. Won the start, first half gone. He would have been delighted with that if you'd have told him 40 minutes ago that he'd be 4th place at the halfway stage. He would have grabbed it with both hands, I'm sure.
Yes, that's the beauty of this all-around competition. It can throw up anomalies occasionally, and any gymnast that's got a reasonable program and competes exceptionally well can actually find themselves on the rostrum. I remember a teammate of Antoniotti's, Benoit Caranobe, in 2008, taking a medal in the Olympic Games. Nobody saw him coming, and he did a fantastic job, and it was a great result.
It certainly was, and I've spent a bit of time with Benoit Caranobe, who's a very, very nice guy, and just enjoyed his moments in the sun. I don't think anyone quite was on the podium with the greats, but there you go. It was in 2008 Caranobe, I remember speaking with him about that, and he said actually he got a silver because Ryohei Uchimura got the silver, but you can't count him because he's, in his words, a god. Yang Wei actually took the all-around title in 2008. Uchimura started his career, I guess, in 08, and that wasn't a massive surprise. He obviously took the London all-around in this competition. But as you say, the all-around, perhaps not for the gold, but is it fair to say silver, bronze sometimes is a bit of a surprise, someone can just creep up.
Oh yes, anything can happen. It's 6 pieces of apparatus. You have to be clean. A fall is extremely expensive, and if a few of the favourites fall, it can open the door for some of the lesser gymnasts.
For 27th Universiade, 10,000 athletes here. It's a competition. It's an integral part of this. There's been so many great names part of this competition. One, we were talking about the individual all-around, is Yang Tae-yong, who's kind of some see a bit of a gymnastics scandal in 2004. People thought he should have had the gold medal. He didn't get it. Got it. South Korea. They're still hurting from that, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yang Tae-yong. Bruno Grandi suggested that Han give his medal to Yang, if I remember rightly. And it was not an offer, a suggestion that Paul Han chose to take up, which that's fair enough. Even if there's an error, the goal is a goal. You keep it. I guess it's asking a lot to give up a gold medal.
It's very, very difficult, even if there was a mistake, to actually have that elation of receiving a medal and then having to give it back. I've seen it at lower levels, at regional level and national level. It's not a nice thing to do.
Yang does actually have an Olympic gold, but it was given by the Korean Olympic Committee, so it's not a real gold medal, but it's as close as you can get. Oleg Stepko, Ukraine's had a disappointing first half.
Super vault, Roche, handspring, double front somersault, small step on landing. but excellently executed. Handspring on, pushing from the hands, grabbing the legs and wrapping. 2.5 somersaults from the hands. Right between the lines and a small step on the landing. That's good work.
Stepko. 14.950. This should be a good apparatus for him, Paul, because the likes of Verniaiev and Kato, they weren't quite as strong on this apparatus. Stepko was 8th on the vault, but 8th on the vault is pretty good. Obviously, it's more of a specialist event.
Absolutely, very hard to judge who's truly in front when you're going around such pieces of apparatus. You'll get everybody has a favourite, and everybody has a favourite apparatus where they'll score exceptionally highly. It's like playing your joker, really. Until you get to that piece, you never quite know where you are.
There's no doubt Verniaiev likes the pommel horse and the parallel bars, doesn't he? Because he performed exceptionally well. Still to come for him, so he'll fancy his chances. He's right up there. Kato was a consistent performer. His weakest was the rings, and that was the same here a few minutes ago.
Stepko scoring 14.95. And we're now waiting for the crowd's favourite, David Belyavski.
He's particularly strong on the floor, so he's had that routine already. He's had one of the routines he likes. He's right up there in contention. David Belyavski, Russian national champion in the all-around discipline, European champion. Can make it 3 golds this summer.
Big step, but Sukaharin double pipe. Immensely difficult vault. Round to his feet. Another great score for Belyavski. He's going for it today.
Is it the case where he sees he's a little bit behind, he needs to take more risks, or do you think he'll stick with plan A and just try and keep it consistent for the last 3 apparatus?
Oh, I think he'll stick. He'll stay as consistent as he can. Try not to change anything too much. He'll have a few options when it gets to high bar. You can see what you actually need for your last piece of apparatus, and maybe he can leave some of the difficulty out. But up to there, you've got to go great guns. This is a quality field, and he can't afford to miss anything.
Belyavski 15.1.
That's going to help his campaign. Straight into first place.
He's got 15.2 in qualification, so you're underlining this word consistency, Paul. That's what it's all about, making sure all the scores are a good level, perhaps 1 or 2 exceptional, but you can't afford to make mistakes as Stepko did on the floor. Kato very much in contention for gold here.
Yes, the main rival. I think it's going to be a tussle between these two and possibly Kuksenkov.
Very respectable vault, 14.9 is the thing.
Yes, that's a good score.
Now live here. It's a big vault for Kato.
Safe enough, not quite the difficulty of Belyavski, but 2.5 twists landed.
Tiniest of steps forward, wasn't there? Will that count as a deduction? I'm talking about just coming up.
Yes, and I think he's outside of the tram lines as well. So there'll be a few tenths deduction on his landing. A little bit of leg form loss in the air.
Quite the height we've seen from some of the other vaulters. See there, the right foot going across the left. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Vault,
Smile.
A very risky event, vault. If you don't land feet first, you score 0. And I've seen it happen, but favourites and gymnasts that are doing well are thrown right out of contention by one mistake on that apparatus.
And there is 14.55 for Kato. Considerably lower than his scoring qualification.
Look at that now. Kato 59.45, Belyavski 59.4. They're neck and neck, and they've both done the same apparatus. 2 to go. It's going to go right down to the wire.
Interesting. The high bar from a few seconds ago. Zhang Yang. Look at this routine from a few seconds ago. It turned out to be not a great routine. The Chinese gymnast, and we'll see why.
Chinese normally great exponents on this apparatus. Miles away on that Kachev.
That's the reason.
bit dazed. He has to get up with 30 seconds now to re-chalk his hands, compose himself, and finish the routine. Thinking about what he needs to do to continue the routine. Will he repeat any elements from before? Does he have to change anything?
A few seconds ago. That is another reason that it was a poor score. Won't give the game away, but it was a poor score. I'll tell you about once we see it. It must be so hard once you've done it twice.
It's difficult. 2 falls on the same element. Kachev, that time with an extra half turn. They're complex skills, but in this company you can't afford that.
On the floor, just completing the routine. Paolo Ottavi of Italy.
Another combination there, just missed it. Spot fall way past handstand. Couldn't connect it with the mark log, Yamawaki. Kato caught this time. There's a lot of difficulty in this routine, but unfortunately you have to catch the metal. Great landing, but we'll be pleased to get off of the high bar, I think.
It was a 14.55 routine. I'd say the E-score was pretty high, 8.55, only 6. D, excuse me, was at 6. Execution, 8.55. Let me take a quick look at the pommel horse from a few seconds ago, just trying to pack in as much as we can for you. And it's a surprise, if you like.
Got up to handstand, a step forward, that'll carry 5/10 deduction. Long gymnast, long legs. Travelling and turning across the horse. A bit scrappy around the toes. But he's through just to see dismount. It's going to reduce his start score a little bit.
Just to explain for our viewers to see dismount what that means exactly.
Yes, gymnast for maximum start score needs to do a D minimum dismount. It's worth 5/10 if you perform a C, a straddle up to handstand without a turn. Then your start score can be reduced by a few tenths. And that gives an advantage to some of his rivals.
11.850 for Zane. Some of his teammates there. Parallel bars, we are live. Parallel bars. Tanaka.
And a somersault to 1 bar. And again with a half turn. 3 in a row, 3 of those basket fell type moves.
An Olympian, Tanaka, team silver in London in the parallel bars. So quality gymnast. We'll be hoping to rack up some points here, the Japanese.
Good routine. Well done.
Certainly not a candidate for a medal, but clearly one of his favourite apparatus. And that looked pretty tight, didn't it? One of those mistakes you were talking about.
Scoring 14.2 on pommel horse, 14.8 on rings, and a 14.2 on the vault. But that'll move him up the rankings for sure.
As the atmosphere starts to ratchet up a bit, this is the 4th rotation of 6. So not much time to make up points, or it's almost the opposite. Time running out for making mistakes. So it's looking good for those athletes, gymnasts at the top. Kato 59.450 and Belyavski 59.4. There's really nothing in it, is there, Paul?
That's averaging around 15, just under 15 points per apparatus, and 615s, of course, are 90. That's the magic score that they're all aiming for. If you can keep around 15 on each apparatus, then you're going to hit that target.
So, top of the pile for the moment. Here's completion of 4.
Tanaka moving up to 4th place with that score on parallel bars, 15.65. That's helped him immensely. 58.85, just half a mark behind his teammate Ryohei Kato. The first 5 gymnasts with Fabian and Hambuechen all within half a mark. It's a close competition, this one. Oleg Stepko now at 58.25.
Certainly the closest so far, because the gold medals so far have been fairly comfortable in the team competition for Oleg Mustafina. This is going to go right to the wall. Bars.
Nikolai Kuksenkov needs to be consistent. He normally is. Stutz turn to 1 bar, start on 1 rail, keep in control, and back in. A few little hand movements, each one a 10th, can be costly in a routine. Oh, double front dismount, extremely difficult. He's through, he's going well.
How risky was that routine, Paul? That's the question. How much did he think, okay, I'll up that difficulty value? Or did he really, again, stick with him playing and that makes it too tough on himself?
Well, it's a risk. I mean, sometimes these gymnasts don't have too many options, but a double front somersault at the end of the parallel bars routine is always a risk. You're never quite sure it's a blind landing, and sometimes it can go horribly wrong.
Like Kuksenkov, the new Russian gymnast. First international competition, famous Russian jersey for him. What results he'll get. This is another great decision. Judges. Nikolai Kuksenkov really loved to debut for his new nation with a gold. What a way to start for a new country. He's to be the first man in Universiade gymnastics history to win back-to-back medals with 2 different countries.
Yes, he's been 4th on a few occasions. You know, the pain of coming 4th is the worst position to be in. And he'll be very hopeful today. Looks very determined. Now we're just waiting while we move round to the 5th rotation. And there it is.
Oh, and it's very good. 15.150. And that's put him top. Well, that could be a gold medal winning performance.
Absolutely. Two more apparatus to go, but it's close there. 59.75 with Kato just second, a few tenths behind, and Belyavski still in with a shot. 4 gymnasts above 59 at the moment. Verniaiev recovered so well from that disaster on pommel horse. He's back in contention with a 59.
Kato, who's now in 2nd place, he's led from the beginning. Now, Belyavski 0.35 back.
Kato has a trump card. High bar to come.
Really important to go around parallel bars there. That's shaking things up a bit. Kuksenkov, number 1. 2 to go. These are the standings. All the way down to number 24. The last 2 rotations will really concentrate on that leading pack. Kuksenkov leads Kato by 0.3.
Yes, fascinating competition this. Belyavski now on parallel bars, one of his specialist pieces. He's an excellent exponent of that. If he can hit his P-bar routine, he's going to have a great chance.
Yeah, he's 15.55 in qualification, Belyavski.
Verniaiev too, 15.9 if he can do a job there.
Kuksenkov is not in that leading group. And you might have called it absolutely right, Paul. The fact that he's not competing with Belyavski, Kato, Verniaiev and Stepko might just be helping him.
No, he's actually in first place at the moment.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, he's in another group.
Yeah, I was talking about the group that he's in.
That's it, yes. Yeah, he could easily, it can be a great advantage for him. Slightly out, slightly hidden, and then all of a sudden come into the fourth.
Just to underline why, he was the 5th best in qualifying.
Yeah.
Behind Verniaiev, Kato, Stepko and Belyavski. So those 4 are together, but just to underline, they're all starting from 0. So those qualifications not counting. In the old days they did, didn't they? The qualifications they used to count towards
maybe before maybe before my time. But I always remember that you're back to 0, and that's quite a nice idea. I think it gives everybody a second chance.
It does.
Kuksenkov only made 1 apparatus final, the pommel horse. It does show that he's a true all-rounder. Perhaps not the specialist mark and truly high scores on each apparatus, but consistently good scores over 6 pieces will mark you out as a great all-rounder.
Day 3 of the gymnastics events at the Universiade. There's such a wonderful tradition of gymnasts here on the men's side. We talked about Vitaly Scherbo, 2 gold medals, silver medal and a bronze in Buffalo at the Universiade. Gold, 2 silvers in Japan, Fukuoka, and of course a legend of gymnastics, Scherbo, 6-time Olympic champion. Completely dominant, was he, in 1992? That was his Olympic Games.
Yes, I went to Barcelona as a young enthusiastic coach and witnessed some amazing gymnastics. Scherbo was absolutely superb. I'll never forget that competition.
Back as well, 1997, Zheng Lihui got the all-around gold at the Universiade, and he was part of the Chinese team that won the gold medal 3 years later. We talked about this, haven't we, Paul? In terms of medals, these gymnasts can come to the Universiade at different stages of their career. Like a classic would be Zheng Lihui, got some experience, got an all-round gold medal in 97. 3 years later, he was top of the pile in 2000 in Sydney. But others come here having already won medals and just not here.
Absolutely. I'm just looking down the list of past medalists, and it's a who's who of gymnastics. It really is. Right back in 1961 with Yuri Titov, the great Yuri Titov, but so many other fantastic Olympic names. Bogdan Makut, an Olympic medalist, here today judging on parallel bars, I think. He's still there. Yuri Korolyev has been a gold medalist at this Universiade. The great Dmitry Belyavski, one of the youngest world championships, champions at 16 years old. He's won here. Great names, great history.
He was on the winning side as well. Nadia Comaneci, Larissa Latinina, Shannon Miller.
Here's an important routine. David Belyavski.
Back live now. Belyavski on the parallel bars.
Well recovered, front rising to Dianadov.
Parallel bars invested here.
So far so good. He's got an extremely risky dismount. Unique, his own element, the Belyavski double pike front somersault. If he's going to do it, he needs to land it. There it is. A great routine. That's put him way in contention.
And the crowd know it. Started 0.35 points off the top. But that might just be making up some vital points.
Oh, yes. He certainly looks determined. He's got the bit between his teeth. He goes to high bar, full of confidence. He needs to get through that last routine to seal the deal.
Have a look at that. Yeah, wonderful routine. Dismount. He'll be waiting. He'll be having for even better mark when he goes into qualification. He's actually only the 4th best on parallel bars. Verniaiev, who was best yesterday, so his judges under scrutiny as well, aren't they? Is that Steve Butcher there on the right?
That's right, yeah.
Seems to have made up his mind already.
I'm sure.
How does it work with judges? Does some take longer than others? Just a quick look at the vault there.
Yes, Vlad Katuna of Romania, a double twist. And that vault.
You've judged, Paul. Give us a bit of an insight about how it works when you've seen a routine like that. You know that it's important. You know that it could be a win or a loss.
Well, it's quite a pressure for the judges, but of course they have to judge extremely objectively, and they have to work under extreme pressure to get a score out in a very small amount of time. They've got a lot of evaluating to do. They have to add up the 10 most difficult elements. They have to put all the components together to ensure that they've got all the special requirements, these gymnasts, and then within just a minute or so come up with a final score. They have to agree to be within a certain range. 6 judges for the E panel. The top score and the bottom score are discarded. The middle 4 are averaged, and they have to be within a range. So there's an immense pressure to actually be within the same range as your 4 other judges.
We've got Belyavski's score. It's 15.7.
That's awesome.
Wow, he'll be delighted with that. He's gone up 0.15. That will really take some beating. He'll know that.
Yes, this gymnastics event has been Russia's competition so far. They've won pretty much everything, and Belyavski looks very motivated by that fact.
What are we going through Kato's run? Will he be now saying, maybe I'll have to up the D score, or he'll just stick with plan A, having seen what the Russians done?
He'll be going all out. I think you have to. In this company, you can't hold back. Just the last piece of apparatus. If you're lucky enough to have an immense lead, then perhaps you could play safe. But here he is. He's got it all to do now.
15.7 for Belyavski. Easily the best so far in this men's individual all-around competition in Kazan. He holds his nerve. Can he get anywhere near that 15.7 or even equal it? Who knows?
He's currently about 15.65 behind Belyavski, so he's going to need a good score.
Got 15.6.
Oh,
not now.
That's a disaster. Something's gone wrong.
He seemed to start the routine well, and suddenly he's on the floor and he knows.
I'm not sure. He's looking at his left arm, but I just can't see what's wrong there. That's unusual. Is he injured?
Pretty quickly. As soon as he gets back on that bar, if he has a serious injury, well, no, could it be a muscle pull?
I really don't know. He's looking,
isn't it?
Yeah, he's looking at his left arm, chalking up again. It could have been something with his grip. Maybe an elaborate preparation with syrup, sugar water. Maybe something is wrong.
What would be the deduction for that?
Well, it's a mark.
Unusual on a parallel.
Yeah, it's a whole mark off. That's going to cost him. Back on now. Element there. Swing back somersault with half turn catch, very complex. Oh, a shame for Kato. I'll be very interested to find out the cause of that. It wasn't even a fall from bars, he just dropped off.
We're getting a massive roar for Nikolai Kuksenkov, who's on the high bar. And we've seen quite a few gymnasts fall from the high bar. We don't see them fall from the parallel bars very often. But that's exactly what Kato has done. We might see that again here. And that was, it was there, inexplicable.
Yeah. Something with his left hand. I don't know if it's his elbow or the padding that he's got on his upper arm. Very unusual.
At one point, this is a cruel, cruel sport because he would have practiced hour after hour that routine. But we have to say, that's going to cost him the gold, certainly, Kato. He started at 0.3 behind
well,
Kuksenkov.
There it is. It is an injury. He can feel something wrong there.
It's high up on the bicep there. Could it be a pull, a strain?
It's certainly something like that. Just on the element before, he felt something go and didn't feel comfortable to perform the next element and dropped off. Did well to finish if that was the case.
Well, he's going to have to grit his teeth and go on, but this is a battle now between Belyavski and Kuksenkov. It looks like another Russian gold medal. Wow. Perfectly for them so far. Stepko out of the reckoning. He was early on, really, after that poor floor routine. And we were just wondering whether Ryohei Kato might be able to challenge the two Russians. I think the answer is no. There's Verniaiev as well. He's dropped out of contention a bit.
There's
I should say that Verniaiev was the best on the parallel bars, 15.9. A really disappointed Kato. Not really does go out for him, up to him.
14.75. Nearly a mark down on what he scored yesterday.
These Russian fans will know that there's a better chance now of a Russian gold, but this gymnast, just getting ready now, Oleg Verniaiev, 15.9 was the best routine on the parallel bars. If he gets a 15.9 now, is he still in contention? Is he just too far behind?
Oh no, absolutely. He could do it. This is going to be a very important piece. Parallel bars is really defining this competition. Let's see what Verniaiev can do.
Kuksenkov on the high bar, Paul, just in top, 15.350. That's why that roar has gone up. Kuksenkov, a whole point better in the horizontal bar yesterday, but back to Verniaiev.
Go to one bar. Immediately Healy. That's very, very difficult E element. This is good. Recovery there. Double pike. Nailed. He's back in the game.
Great work. We should add also at the exact same time we're seeing a brilliant routine from Fabian Hambuechen, Olympic silver medalist. Let's hope we see a bit of that routine, because that was super work. You know, one of the best high bar workers for, well, years now, and very popular guy on the circuit. And Fabian Hambuechen, the German, second only to Zonderland in what some people thought was the best individual competition in London. But back to Verniaiev, because this is, in terms of the gold medal here, is what we're looking out for.
Hambuechen score there. He's 16.3 behind the leaders, but that score on high bar is going to put him right up there. So Hambuechen is looking good.
Но запомните.
Interesting. Of course, that's his favourite apparatus, so we shouldn't be too surprised that that's why he moves up the rankings. This is a fascinating battle. We're still waiting for Kato. We have 14.750. Belyavski 15.75. We're waiting on Verniaiev.
Looking at Kuksenkov now on high bar.
A few minutes ago, he's a challenger for the gold medal.
Coleman safely executed.
Just to interrupt you, Verniaiev 16 dead. Oh. He's right back in it. What a brilliant performance that was.
It's one of the biggest scores I've ever seen on parallel bars. Kuksenkov working very well. Oh, very nice connection there into the Yamawaki. Healy building up the difficulty. Hop full turn. For the dismount. Beautiful.
And that's why he's joint leader. It's quite rare to see this, isn't it? Going into the last apparatus, it's dead heat between Belyavski and Kuksenkov. We might have two Russian gold medals here. That really would...
incredible, but let's not discount Verniaiev. 75, 1/10 behind. It really does boil down to the last piece. Hambuechen's pulled himself back. He's half a mark off the pace, 74.5. And Kato still in 5th. Will he be able to do high bar? I'm not so sure.
Certainly not 100%. Picked up that injury, something on the right arm.
Стой!
Massive score for Verniaiev, 16.
So exciting, going down to the wire. It's only 0.1 point the difference, so 3 gymnasts within 0.1 of each other.
This is where a bit of tactics can come in for the last rotation. Some of the gymnasts may choose to play safe. That could be costly if everybody goes clean. Other gymnasts just want to get through. Some will throw everything in, go for broke. It's a real gamble.
Don't forget, Kuksenkov is not, of course, on the high bar. It's Belyavski and Verniaiev right in front of us on the high bar. And Kuksenkov will go back on the floor now.
Yeah, and Hambuechen as well. So
and Hambuechen, who's 0.6 back, and he's a champion.
Yes.
Good competition for the Germans. I'll be delighted with that.
Matthew Firth of Great Britain having a great competition so far, 71.6 and 7th place.
Right at the start of this competition, Paul, you were saying that the fact that Belyavski he'll go last right on the high bar. He'll know what he'll have to do. A bit of an advantage, but quite a big advantage for Belyavski. He'll still have to perform.
Oh, it comes with pressure, absolutely. To be last up when you know you've got to do a job, even when it's clear cut, you have to deliver, and that can work in 2 ways.
that Stepko, who's in 5th place, trying to recover from that poor start. He's less than a point behind the top. He's not going to get the gold on silver, but it's turned into a respectable competition for Oleg Stepko, 74.3. With he's on the high bar because he's in that elite
yes.
group, you could call it. There you go.
Less than a mark separating the top 6, and when you consider that a fall on any apparatus is a mark deduction, these guys have to be clean. The pressure's on.
And look out for Hambuechen. You're absolutely right to talk about him. He was 3rd best on the floor, you know, yesterday. 15.250, experienced gymnast. Squeeze up there into the top 3.
Absolutely.
Only 0.2 behind Verniaiev.
Pressure's on the high bar workers. Great expectation for these 2 Russian gymnasts, Belyavski and Kuksenkov.
I wonder if Kato, we'll look at Kato now because he's just warming up. Do you think you see any signs of injury there?
Yeah. Well, he's had a warm-up. Got to dig deep to be able to deliver that routine.
Gymnasts know all about playing through the pain, to use that old cliche. They do that day in, day out, but really have to deliver. Just to let you know a little bit further down, Kevin Antoniotti doing really well for France. He's still in the top 10, so well done to him as well. Brett Schneider is in the top 10 as well. There's a Tanaka in 5th. First Leeds University student. He'll be on the rings. How's he like on the rings, Matthew? Have you seen much of him?
He's okay. His quality, as I said before, is consistency, and I expect him to do a consistent routine on the rings.
He's warming up there, and he might get in the top 7 actually.
Well, if he can get in the top 10, that'll be a super result for him.
I'll take that back. He's actually a little bit too far behind 7th place, but he could maintain that 8th.
Absolutely.
Great for him. These gymnasts seeing here. Paolo Tavi as well. We're watching now. So where are we? With 1 rotation left, we have joint leaders Belyavski and Kuksenkov both on 75.1. Belyavski will go on the high bar, Kuksenkov on the floor, and look out for Oleg Verniaiev as well, 75 there, just 0.1 behind. He's on the high bar too. And if there's a real surprise, Fabian Hambuechen, who's a very good exponent on the floor, he's 0.6 behind those joint leaders.
And I know Fabian, he's a tiger, he's a great competitor, and when the odds are stacked against him, he loves to perform. He's a real fighter. I think he's going to pull something out.
I've got a slight advantage as well. He's going to go first. This will be Yusuke Tanaka, who's currently in 7th place, and quite comfortably as well. There's no way he's going to go down below 7 unless there's a real disaster. It's a couple of points ahead of Firth and 0.5 behind Kato.
That's his chance is gone. Full twist into a 2.5 twist forwards. Very complex tumble, but he suffered for it.
Kato, just to let you know, is going to go on the high bar. Japanese gymnasts out there now. We'll concentrate on the floor, which is what we're seeing now.
Yes.
As soon as Kato is off that high bar, we'll let you know how he's done, and if he's injured, in fact.
Tanaka working well. Just that error on the first tumble that cost him. Two and a half twist. Into tuck front with half turn out.
15.05 qualifications to make up.
And a triple twist dismount.
Well, just to let you know that his countryman Kato looks to have got through that unscathed, probably quite a bit of pain, and you know, hats off to him. He's had a really, really good day here. It's not going to be a medal performance, but he can be proud of himself there. This is a big competition for Kato, but now back on Tanaka.
There's the mistake.
Yeah.
2.5 twist. Had to put his hands down. At least a mark off for the fall, and other errors in the air.
This individual all around, it's a bit like who's the last man standing, isn't it? We're looking at who's making the mistakes, gradually eliminating Stepko, eliminating Kato. It's hard. It is a cruel sport.
Absolutely.
So that Brent Schneider, Andreas Brent Schneider, is on parallel bars. we await the score for Ryohei Kato. .150 on Monday. This is all about that battle between Belyavski, Kuksenkov and Verniaiev, separated by 0.1 of a point.
Kuksenkov next up on floor. I wonder what he's thinking now.
There is Tanaka's score coming up, 14.2 yet, so there was that reduction you mentioned before.
Kato survived, 15.1 on high bar to go into the lead, 89.3.
That's a brilliant performance. It's clearly
Absolutely.
not 100%. He's gone through that. He's done himself and his country proud.
It's an important routine for Mykola Kuksenkov. Keep it together. Good work.
Joint leader, Kuksenkov. Wasn't best on the floor yesterday, 14.850, a better performance than the week, walking away with the gold again.
So far, so good. Thomas roll in the straight position. Into the flare sequence. Or the Fedorchenko, sorry, triple Russian. Time for a quick breath. The lifter handstand, and then the all-important final dismount. There it is, triple twist. Did he step out of the floor? Difficult to say. But he's through. Another consummate performance from Kuksenkov. All round, clean, done his job once more.
He's enjoyed it, the crowd has enjoyed it, and delighted with the support of the Russian crowd for the first time in his life. He's
yes.
got the Russians behind him.
Yes, taken to their hearts. Welcome to Russia.
Certainly put everything into that. He's going to get a medal. You can say that with some degree of certainty. Which colour will it be for the defending champion? Showing that all-round consistency. Talking of all-round consistency, Paul, it's interesting to note that Verniaiev was pretty, I don't want to say weak, but relatively weak on that horizontal bar, 14.4 yesterday. He was only 15th best.
Just about to watch him now. Let's see what happens.
Will he spoil the party? Remember, he's just 1 point behind the two leaders. Every chance of the gold medal if he can get this right.
Lovely catch of there. Beautiful line, this gymnast. With half turn. A catch up with half turn, full stretch there. There's the full turn into the combination with the Yamawaki. Oh, with a half turn, that's unusual. Easy turn into the L-grip endo. Come on, Oleg, you're nearly there. Double straight, double twist, finishes competition.
And what a great competition it's been from one of the most talented young gymnasts out there. Only 19 years old, Verniaiev, a long and good future ahead of him. We can hope so, injury permitting. Looks like he'll get a medal here. He's come to Russia with the Ukraine team, up against one of his old countrymen.
Kuksenkov scoring 14.85 on the floor, puts him into first, 89.95 with Verniaiev 15 behind, 14.95. He's going to need a score of 15.
15 is what he'll need. He had 14.4 in qualifications, but this was a much better routine than yesterday, it seems to me.
It all depends on that D score.
And that jump forward there, not the cleanest of landings. So he's looking for what, 15, Paul?
I believe so, yeah. That's how far off the pace he is. 14.95 behind Kuksenkov at the moment.
15, that magic number. Will it be 14 points something, or will it be 15, above 15? Verniaiev might just be the party pooper here.
Suffered a little bit from the pommel horse. Imagine what he'd have done if he'd have gone through his pommel horse as he did in qualifications. He would have been head and shoulders above everybody. But that one mistake, the horse claims another victim.
So we're waiting for that score for Verniaiev. It will decide what colour his medal is. Will it be above 15 or below? It's that tight. It's down to .05.
The judges spending a lot of time deliberating. Quite a difficult routine to assess.
Right to do that. Right. I mean, this is what Verniaiev has been preparing for. This is one of the biggest days of his career. Oh, well, it's well down. It's only 14.6, Paul.
Slightly up on his qualification performance, but yes, that puts him on 89.6. Third place.
Falling behind Hambuechen. Well, you called it absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Don't write off about Hambuechen. He's got 15.35 on the floor.
Super competition for Fabian. 89.85. Nearly getting to 90.
0.1 off for Kuksenkov there. That's how tight it is. Belyavski still to go, so we still don't know who the gold medal winner is, but it looks like it'll be Russian. Oleg Stepko is on 74.3.
Yes, needs a 15.65 on this piece. I don't think he can get there.
14.3 qualification. It's not his strongest apparatus. Good day for Ukraine, to put it in perspective.
They have a great team for the future. Combination that difficult to do. Here's a strong movement. The Czech giant was quite popular many years ago. Stepko, the only person here today to do that. Triple somersault. Good job, Oleg.
Completing a very good afternoon's work. Evening's work, I should say. It's 8:30 local time. And first is completing his still rings routine. We are now waiting for David Belyavski. He needs 14.9, if my maths are right. 14.9 needed for Belyavski to get gold ahead of Kuksenkov. And Verniaiev, that's tough on Oleg Verniaiev. He's going to be pushed out of the medals. How often have we said that about Ukraine?
Yes, very true.
Looks like Verniaiev will be fourth, unless, of course, Belyavski makes a big error here. I wouldn't count on it. Belyavski's been consistency itself this evening. European champ. Russian national champion all around. What a summer this would be. Would he be favourite for the world if he gets gold here as well, do you think, for the all-arounds?
Oh, it could be, but I'm just looking at his qualification score on high bar. Only 14 for David Belyavski, so I'm not so sure he's going to get there. He needs 14.85. He's going to have to pull something very special out of the bag.
Well, he's only 29.
This could be Kuksenkov's day.
Extraordinary. To retain his title. He's done that since Mykola in the 80s.
Complete silence in the arena. Very high. Quite enough rotation. He's making sure he's going to catch. Kachev, hop full turn. Winding up for a double straight with full twist. Nails the landing.
Brilliant work from David Belyavski. He might not get that gold, but no one can fault his endeavour there. His application, he's put everything into that. He'll need a good score. We'll need, what, 14.7, was it?
14.9, I think, and I don't think he's going to get there. That routine just not quite the difficulty. Let's wait and see.
It's a big ask. Yeah, 14.9, excuse me.
And I can say because it's so close at the top, he could even be pushed out of the medal position. He's got to work hard to actually get in front of Verniaiev. It could be Verniaiev with the bronze. Let's see. Fascinating finale to this wonderful competition.
The Russians will give someone else a chance to give them the silver.
Hambuechen for Germany. Germany had a great couple of days in this competition. 2 medals for the girls and 1 for Fabian today.
15.7 on the high bar. Arguably the best routine anyone today. Best score anyway.
We'll look forward to that tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt the favourite for gold, Fabian Hambuechen. So David Belyavski looking for 14.9. It's a big ask. If he doesn't get it, Russia will still get the gold in the form of Kuksenkov. Oh, it's close. My word, it's close, but it's 14.5.
14. It's amazing. It puts him into the bronze medal position.
Hambuechen getting into that top 3 when it really counts. But what can you say? Nikolai Kuksenkov, first competition for Russia, and he's become the first man since Yuri Korolev in 1983 to retain that all-around gold medal. Just put that in perspective, because of course it's to be consistent on one day is hard enough, but he's done it over 2 years, 2 competitions over 2 years.
Fantastic, and a brilliant result for Nikolai. As we've said before, 4th place, has been many times, 4th place in the team for the Olympics last year, 4th place individually, and to come along here with a change of country, change of attitude perhaps, and a superb competition, very motivated, top the pile, great for him.
Hambuechen, popular German athlete, world champion. Just 1 point back, that shows how close he was. Hambuechen very nicked the gold actually. Kuksenkov with a good bar routine to finish it off. Verniaiev unlucky again. Well, actually he's on the same mark as Belyavski.
Yes.
Correct that. So there's joint 3rd.
Well, I'm not sure. It is actually showing joint 3rd, so it'll be interesting. I think they'll both get the bronze medal. Sometimes the organising committee have a tie-break rule, but it looks in this case that it will be a joint bronze medal for Belyavski and Verniaiev.
Kato, Stepko completing the top 6. We'll confirm that as soon as we can. So maybe it will be a happy ending after all. Oleg Verniaiev, who was up there, wasn't he? He was in the top 2-3. Let's have a look at the other gymnastics. Who's had a good day at the office there?
Well,
run us through the other guys who've done well today.
Well, I think Kato, to have that fall and still finish 5th was a brilliant result. But well done to Matthew Firth. He's made a top 10 place, finishing 9th with 85.45. True to form, consistent to the end. That's great. Antoniotti of France, 10th place. He's had a top 10. And Brazil knocking on the door of finals and big results in Mariano, scoring 84.9. Further down, 2 Italians, Paolo Ottavi finishing 13th, and Paolo Principi finishing in 17th place.
A good day for Great Britain, good day for France and Brazil. Their expectations were lower. But Nikolai Kuksenkov means that it's 4 gold medals for Russia so far, 4 out of 4. Clearly doing something right in their preparation. Silver's in there as well.
Just 4 tenths separating the top guys. You have to keep your nerve through 6 pieces in this game.
So hard, all those guys in 2nd and 3rd, they'll be saying, well, good performance, but is it a question of if only? So are they thinking, oh, I've lost 0.2 on that, 0.1 on that? Or are they kind of coached not to do that?
We all do it, that little word if. I've had so many autopsies after competitions with gymnasts saying, if I'd have done this, if's a big word, I can tell you.
The important thing is to learn, I guess, for the next competition, instead of looking back, because there's nothing you can do about that. There's no appeals made, so the forward for Kato's fall on the parallel bars. Very rare you see that, on the parallel bars. But he went on and did an excellent high bar, so maybe his arm isn't too badly injured.
Yes, the old what if. Adam marked to Kato's score, he'd have been right there. Adam marked to Verniaiev's score for that mistake on pommel horse. So that's what if. It's what you actually do on the day, and it's Kuksenkov that's delivered.
Yeah, Stepko made his mistake quite early, didn't he, on the floor, but looking back, I can't remember Kuksenkov making of a mistake, although it's that one right at the beginning. No, that's Belyavski.
No, he was clean, and that's his quality. He's on many occasions I've seen him go through 6 pieces, and with perhaps not the most difficult of routines, not really a specialist on any particular apparatus, but so consistent and such a good level around 6 pieces. He's a decathlete of gymnastics.
His best score was actually at the end on the high bar, was 14.35. His lowest score, if I put it that way, was 14.7, which is, certainly respectable. The vault wasn't a 15.05 on the still rings. He got 2 marks at 14.850 on the floor and the pommel horse. And it was a good routine on the parallel bar, 15.15 from Kuksenkov. That maybe surprised 1 or 2 people.
That's what it's all about, getting close to 15 on every piece of apparatus. If you can do that, you're going to hit the magic 90, and that's in contention for an all-round medal.
He didn't hit 90, but he came as close as he possibly can, 89.950. What's interesting, Paul, is that there were 3 men who got 90 in qualifications as part of the team.
Absolutely.
Is that typical or unusual?
Well, I can tell you that it's what's interesting is the only person to improve on his score markedly was Fabian Hambuechen, who did the right job. He did the heats, just like in athletics, where you need to save something for the next day. I think he drew on a lot of experience to Fabian to just do enough on the qualification day, get a good night's sleep, and then hit the job at the right moment.
Yeah, Fabian's studying sports management at Cologne University, which has a fantastic track record of producing gymnasts, athletes right across the board. Cologne University, the centre of German student sports. It doesn't really have a centre, it's quite a diffuse kind of operation compared to some countries. Fabian Hambuechen, one of the big stars, of course, of the Olympics, silver medalist, just beaten by Zonderland on the high bar. Got the bronze on the horizontal bar in 2008, 2007 world champion on home soil. 6-time European champion. He's got bags of experience, Hambuechen, and absolutely right, he showed it. It's funny, it's his first Universiade, and he mentioned the fact that he'll be over the age limit next time, so it's now or never. He's decided to do it. And also he was mentioning that for him this is the big tournament this summer, because the World Championships don't count as Olympic qualification this year. This is something that Hambuechen was pointing out, and this is why he's here. And also his best friend from his hometown Wetzlar is here as well, Fabian Lotz.
Okay.
And he says he's coming to have a good time as well. That will start tonight at a good time. He said it's unusual because normally takes a week off, 10 days off around this time of the year once university stops. He sort of likes to take 3 or 4 days to recover several times a year. But he also mentioned maybe perhaps slightly light-heartedly that he's here to have a bit of fun here with his best friend Fabian Lotz, and something to celebrate now, isn't there, tonight?
And I think it'll start tomorrow night for Fabian. Of course, he's got the high bar routine to do tomorrow.
Yep.
He'll need to be tucked up in bed,
of course,
and just holding it together. Always very difficult after such a great result. He's got to calm the elation and temper it. Just get some sleep, get a little bit of training in the morning, and then one more time tomorrow. Super result for Fabian.
Yeah, the consummate gymnast, of course, he'll be having an early night tonight. He'll celebrate once this competition is over. He was saying, just looking at some of the previews for this competition, he was, in his words, very optimistic for the high bar. And he said he was a candidate for the all-round, and he was as good to his word. Another medal, instead of a trophy cabinet.
Yes, I'm counting 5 world and 6 European medals and a silver on high bar in London last year. That's an impressive total for a country, let alone a single gymnast. Belyavski did well, 3rd place. Just looking at Belyavski, he's got a great set of routines, just a little bit low on his high bar. If he can just, I don't think he made any major mistakes today, but with a 14.5 on high bar, it just couldn't compare with some of the big guys. Needs to just get a few more elements into that routine to raise his start score. But superb work on his other pieces of apparatus.
Something to work on ahead of those World Championships Antwerp. Kuksenkov, I wonder if he's a candidate for that to add worlds to 2 Universiade titles. A real boost for Britain, France and Brazil. All of these gymnasts, Paul, have got their own targets. Some are medals, some are top 10, some just reach the final. Success. We're going to leave you for a few minutes ahead of the medal ceremony then. Nikolai Kuksenkov has another gold for him and another gold for Russia. His total of 89.95 points, enough for a gold medal. Come back with us for that medal ceremony in a few minutes. Welcome back to Kazan, where the big news is that Nikolai Kuksenkov has retained his individual all-around title. This time for Russia, it was for Ukraine 2 years ago. And the first man since the great Yuri Korolov to retain that title. He won this title in 1991 and 1981, 1983 in Bucharest and Edmonton, Canada. So making history. He's also the first ever athlete, first ever gymnast, I should say, to win a gold medal in 2 different countries in the same event. History made for Kuksenkov. But Paul, maybe a rather bittersweet goal because his father is still in the setup of the Ukrainian team.
Yes, fascinating story for Nikolai Kuksenkov. 4th in the Olympic Games in London, and then very frustrated. He has a lot of family in Russia, he says, including his sister, who's a journalist, Irina Kuksenkova. His father's the coach of the Ukrainian national team, Yulia Kuksenkov, but he decided to leave them all behind to go to Russia to train under coach Igor Kalabushkin, who coached the late Yuri Ryazanov. Tragic event with Yuri Ryazanov, a bronze medalist in the 2009 World Championships, went back to Russia, and the next day or so was driving on the motorway to see family, I think, and crashed and unfortunately lost his life. Kalabushkin, his coach, now working with Nikolai Kuksenkov and doing a fantastic job.
Indeed, that was a tragedy for the world of gymnastics. Kuksenkov very much now for the Russian Federation. This is his first competition in that famous Russian jersey, and he certainly repaid their faith because he would have also come here for sporting reasons, perhaps better facilities, better coaches. It's a tough decision, though, to go from Ukraine to Russia. We've seen gymnasts perhaps going from a completely different setup, perhaps from east to west for personal reasons sometimes, but Ukraine to Russia is quite an unusual move, isn't it, Paul? Very
unusual. He has reasons. He has family in Russia, and he says himself that he works now with his personal trainer Igor Kalabushkin. They've got a fantastic setup in Russia, a large coaching staff that all work together as a team. They have individual experts on each apparatus. The head coach Valery Alfosov oversees the whole process, helps everybody out. Everybody understands each other, and he found it very, very easy to join the Russian team.
This has been a fascinating competition. It's been a fantastic one for Russia. 4 golds now. Also good for Britain, good for Germany, good for France. Kevin Antoniotti, surprise top 10. Great performance from Matthew Firth as well from Leeds University. And Andreas Brettschneider of Germany. And talking of Germany, Fabian Hambuechen. We weren't really talking about him much till the last rotation. You called it absolutely right, Paul. You said just look out for him on the floor. He'll know exactly what to do. He's got the experience. And he went all the way up from 5th, 4th, ending up in 2nd. 0.1 point off the gold medal. That's how close it was.
Yes, it's a little, but it's a lot, that 0.1. Fabian did a fantastic job today. He has a very difficult piece of apparatus, pommel horse, where he scored 13.8. But what fantastic scores on the other apparatus. 15.35 on the floor, a massive 15.7 on high bar, 15.3 on parallel bars. A dream competition for Fabian, drawing on many, many years of international experience.
Yeah, you've explained how this competition is all about consistency. And that's what Kuksenkov has. He didn't really make any mistakes throughout the 6 apparatus, and that's why he has won the gold medal again. That means for the 4th time in this gymnastics competition in Kazan, Russia, we have a Russian winner. They've won the men's team, they've won the women's team. Aliyah Mustafina has won the women's title, 4 out of 4. Nikolai Kuksenkov.
And I can say that part of the presentation party is the great Elena Zamolodchikova, 2 times Olympic champion on vault and floor in Sydney 2000. She'll have great pleasure in presenting the medals to Nikolai Kuksenkov. And of course now David Belyavski, who tied for a bronze with Oleg Verniaiev.
That's right, that's nice for Oleg Verniaiev, a great young talent, Verniaiev, and he was up there in the reckoning for the gold, wasn't he, until the end. He goes home with a bronze, and we're going to see a lot more of Verniaiev over the next few years, the Olympian and European medalist as well. He'll go home with a bronze, 2 bronze medalists, Belyavski and Verniaiev, Russia and Ukraine.
And the smallest the margins between success and failure for Verniaiev. He had a super competition today, did an excellent pommel routine, got to the dismount, and then was unseated. Took a big hit on that piece, and that slipped him down a couple of rankings, but he's very happy, I'm sure, to have received a medal today.
Fabian Hambuechen, former German sports personality of the year, is a big star in Germany, and he didn't have a very good pommel horse either, and that's why he's not the gold medalist, but nevertheless delighted for Fabian Hambuechen, two-time Olympic medalist, and he loves that horizontal bar, but he loves the floor as well, doesn't he? That's where he got up into second place.
Great result for Fabian. He's a popular silver medalist here. Received a warm round of applause from an appreciative audience. Coached by his father. That's quite a difficult relationship, but they've been together for many, many years, working from junior. He grew up with my gymnast, Daniel Keatings, and I've really enjoyed watching him grow to the gymnastics master that he is.
It's all about this man, Kuksenkov. He was only fifth in the qualification, but you said, you underlined that. We start from zero. It's all about who makes the fewest mistakes, and it was a near faultless display from Kuksenkov. We were looking for mistakes, you were looking for them, Paul, and he didn't really see one. That's why he's gold medalist again.
That's it. Consistency over 6 pieces is the watchword for today. He did a great job. A great inspiration, changing countries for Kuksenkov. Missed out on the European Championships earlier in the year, couldn't get his citizenship until just a few weeks afterwards, so this is his first competition, but he'll figure, I'm sure, in the Russian World Championships, in the Russian team that'll go to the World Championships to compete in the individual World Championships later on this year.
And you can see what it means to him. The nearly man in London, but now the Universiade champion for the second time. The anthem of all Universiade winners. The second time Kuksenkov hears it. Last time he was wearing the Ukraine jersey. Today it's the Russian one. And there's 4 men on the podium. Always nice to see. They've all worked really hard, deserve their moment in the sun. All made a little mistake here or there, apart from Kuksenkov. And that's why he is, again, the Universiade champion in the individual all-round after Aliyah Mustafina earlier in the day. It's been a real top quality competition, hasn't it, Paul? This is really high level today. I know you've enjoyed it.
Absolutely. And those guys are all on again tomorrow. No time for celebration just yet. One more day to go.
Well, join us for tomorrow because it's a top quality field in the individual apparatus finals. We've got Arthur Zanetti going in the rings, Olympic champion. Yang Hak-seong going. The vault, we've got all 3 medalists from London. Denis Belyavski, Igor Radzivilov. On the bar, we've got Fabian Hambuechen, silver medalist. We've got Yusuke Tanaka, 10 medalist in London. On the women's side as well, of course, we have Mustafina going, looking for more medals. She's already won one today. And Paseka as well on the vault. It's going to be another top quality competition tomorrow, Tuesday. All about Russia again, and Kuksenkov getting another gold medal. Nikolai Kuksenkov, he did it 2 years ago in the individual all-around. He's done it again today, 89.95 points, enough for the gold, ahead of Fabian Hambuechen, Belyavski and Oleg. Verniaiev. So Kuznetsov will be making the headlines tomorrow. Mikhail Kuksenkov of the Russian Federation. 4 out of 4 for Russia then. Thanks for being with us today from the Gymnastics Centre in Kazan. Myself, Andreas Evagora and Paul Hall. We'll see you tomorrow for more gymnastics action from the Universiade of Kazan.